Good afternoon, everybody. Naku, hindi akbat
Hello.
tayo. Tagal kasi minsan mag-respond. But anyway, thank you
Mm.
and welcome to episode 5 of Gab Mentality. My name is Theo and I have with me, as always, my wonderful
Chops
friend.
here.
Yeah, hi,
Hello
how are
and good
you?
afternoon everyone. Okay naman. And summer is here. Kaya
Yay!
sobrang mainit na dito sa Manila.
Okay, ready na ba ang mga beanie at ang mga bathing suits? Pwede na bang mag-travel? I think parang may nabasa ako na pwede na daw mag-travel.
Well, if you want to risk it, yes, pwede na. Pero there are still restrictions for senior citizens and
Ah,
the younger ones. I believe so. And parang kumbaga ano lang jurisdiction na ng place
hmm.
yon if they will require people to get a swab test before they let them enter their
Ah,
city.
okay.
Just like in Baguio, I believe they have certain protocols
Mm.
that are still
Hmm.
being put into place. Kaya
Ah,
yun,
okay.
kailangan.
Kailangan pa din. Okay. So,
Mm-mm.
parang travel at your own risk na lang. Okay. Sige.
Oo,
Understood. So, kung,
oo.
syempre, alam ko
Sadly.
yung mga senior citizens natin, eh, gustong-gusto nang lumabas. Kaso, hindi pa pwede. Mga mommies and daddies na natin yan. Hindi, lolo at lola na ng ibang bata, yung mas younger. Pero, sa generation namin, mga mommies and daddies namin, wag munang lumabas. Yan. Alam ko naman na ang hirap talaga to stay stuck at home. So anyway, it's March and this month we have special episodes in honor of women because tomorrow is International Women's Day. All right,
Yes, it is.
that's why I will share the screen now. I didn't know na naka-on na pala. But anyway, ibalik na natin yung screen, yung screen nila. Teka ha, add to screen. Ayan. Sorry na po, medyo mabagal. Ayan, okay. So
Yes,
today is,
there.
we will talk about Women's History Month. Okay, so since the last couple of what we have been discussing were people from outside the Philippines, historical figure events that was outside the Philippines, we decided to, tawag dito, come back to home. Parang, let's do something about Filipinos naman. So, ang topic natin is about the Filipinas or the power plays. So, sila yung mga, in our opinion, these are women who Shops and I think are pretty badass, correct?
That's
So, parang ano eh, tawag dito, okay, nawala si Shops, but anyway, I'll just continue. Kasi naisip namin kung sino ba yung mga women na we think in the Philippines ang nag-leave ng mark, and of course sila yung mga tipong ina-admire namin. Some of you may agree with our list, some of you may not agree. But if we miss somebody or hindi kami, meron kami hindi na feature, please feel free to comment since this is a live discussion. So you could post yung mga kung sino yung babae na feeling niyo eh um, should be honored. Yon. Okay, nawala si Shops, but anyway, tuloy lang na natin habang wala siya. Okay. Okay, teka, paano ba ito? Ayan, medyo mabagal lang ang aking system ngayon. Ayan, ayan na siya.
there. I am
Ayan,
back. I'm
ayan
sorry.
na
I
siya.
had to take care of certain uh logistical issues because I have
Mm-mm.
to be focused and otherwise I won't be able to concentrate on our discussion. I know this is just a short period of time. Of course, I want to be able to provide what is, of
Oo.
course, necessary. We prepared for this,
Mm-mm.
therefore, it's only proper for the both of us to deliver uh quality presentation. So, like what Cleo said, we are going to talk about these badass women whom we think are who pretty much did their share for our
Mm-mm.
country, and again we're honoring them because it's International Women's it's Women's Month technically, and tomorrow
Yeah.
is International Women's Day.
Yeah, okay. So, gano'n na nga. Teka lang, girl, hindi ko
Mm-mm.
lang siya makuha ulit kasi parang
Okay.
Ito ang mahirap pag ano eh. Ayan! Diyos ko po. Sana mag-work siya. Ito mahirap kasi nga, I'm using a
The
different,
laptop.
I'm using a different laptop. Kaya, ngayon, bakit ayaw bumukas? Ayan. Mahirap kasi pag ganito eh, pag hindi ka, kasi yung technical support natin tulog pa eh. Tell you what, maybe Shopee can be the one to share the screen because my keyboard stopped working on me. So,
Okay,
ikaw na
hold
muna. Oh, sige,
on.
okay. Dadaldal na muna ako ng konti. Ayan. Ayan.
Mm-hmm.
Yan,
Go
sige,
ahead.
tanggalin ko muna.
And I'm
Ayun.
just waiting
So, bakit?
for
Sige,
Canva to.
ayun. So, ayun na nga. Sorry naman. So, since live ito, marami talagang mga ganitong pangyayari na na sometimes stuff don't work even if we do a test
Ah,
prior to broadcast we usually do a tech test pero ewan ko bakit bigla siyang nag-stop working on me. Yan. Ayan, nakakainis. Sige, tingnan nga natin. Oh, grabe, nawala yung ano ko, nawala yung aking mouse. So, kaya gumagamit ako ng pen instead. Teka, ha? Okay.
okay.
Stop screen sharing. Ayan. So, ikaw na lang mag-screen. Anyway, people, yung mga nanonood, we will be talking about Filipino women who made a mark in our country's history. So, may mga people kami na pag-uusapan. If you have a particular um, figure in mind, please feel free to share. Maybe maybe meron kaming hindi madi-discuss, hindi namin masasama sa list namin, or you don't agree sa aming list. Please feel free to engage us in a conversation. Yeah, so thank you sa mga
Yeah.
nanonood. Kung may nanonood man, if you're new to us, if you're new here, welcome. Ayan. So, ayan na. Teka, should I let you
Yes.
share na? Okay, sige. Ayan.
I am
Okay.
okay.
O gusto mo i-ano ko
So I
muna?
will click present.
Sige, click present.
I hope
Ayan.
it does present.
It will
Because
present.
it's still loading.
Sige. Gusto mo, itanggalin ko muna siya habang naglo-load. Tapos, ayan. Okay. Sige. Ganire. Yun. So, again, if there are women in Philippine history you admire, feel free to post it. Kung hindi kayo mag-agree sa mga selections namin, then, yeah, pwede naman kayo makapag-debate sa amin. But again, let's all keep it diplomatic, let's keep it respectful. Walang basagan ng trip, tama ba? Or let's just respect each other's opinion. Hindi naman you're free to express your thoughts, kumbaga. Okay, ayan na. Kikemi ko na siya. Okay.
There. So it is
Yan.
presenting.
Yes.
Okay.
Ayan na.
It's all good, right?
Yes, it's good.
Okay.
Ayan, lumalabas na yung bilog. Okay.
Yes. So I presented it from my end. So again, here is our presentation for today's topic. So Philippine heroines are our power Pinays. So, but before we proceed there, let's talk Women's Month.
Okay.
So this is Cleo and I, and of course our fellow women out there. This is our month. So it's just if you check out the International Women's Day website, there are a lot of suggested activities if you want to contribute or if you want to celebrate this month. So feel free to check out the website. And I think the theme for this year is to combat change, and one of those is to make sure that women are open to what do you call this, to uh what do you call this, put themselves out there despite the COVID situation. So
Mm,
that's one of the themes
okay.
of of this year.
Okay, that's
So
right. So,
now why do we celebrate Women's Month? Where did it start? So as you can see right here, March is Women's Month because started in the United States. The U.S. Congress authorized and requested then President Ronald Reagan to declare the week beginning March 7 in 1982
mhm.
as Women's History Week. So this is to have them as a reminder that women's history and of course feminism is intersectional, meaning to say it's diverse. It should be open to everyone, and of course, women should not be just the weaker sex and be the gender that's always looked down upon or discriminated. So that's where it all started. It was just it was a request from the U.S. Congress
Oh,
until
okay.
International Women's Day emerged, and it's
Mhm.
celebrated every March 8th
March 8th.
every year.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. So I think we have really gone a long way in terms of women's rights. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
no, hindi ang mga kababaihan, hindi na tayo walking two paces behind men. We walk side by side already. Of course, meron pa ding mga
There are countries.
there's still discrimination pa rin against women. Hindi pa, I think it would take a long time bago talaga mawala yan. But there are still, it still happens na hindi pa rin pantay ang tingin to both men
Mm-hmm.
and women. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So today, gusto namin bigyang pugay ang mga Pilipina who made a mark. For us, okay, you should of course have your own list, but these are our lists. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Okay.
Yep. So
Okay.
our first is Teresa Magbanwa. So this one we chose her uh, because of, well, not too many people know about her
Yeah.
actually. Mhm.
Hindi talaga. Yung what you would notice that the ladies that we would be talking about, hindi masyadong, no, some of them are pretty well known. Some of them weren't really given much airtime, kumbaga. Hindi
Oh,
sila
oh.
masyadong napapansin. Like, I didn't really know about Teresa Magbanwa until I've read about her.
Mhm.
And
And
yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
she's not part of the history books if I'm not mistaken.
Parang hindi, maybe na-mention pero
Wala,
hindi natin
hindi ko siya,
napansin
siguro nung panahon wala siya sa mga libro
sa
natin
mga books.
sa
Yeah.
civica and history kasi we grew up knowing about or reading about Gabriela Silang
Yeah.
and Melchora Aquino, 'di ba?
Mhm. That's right. So wala rin ako nabasa about her, or baka meron lang, hindi lang natin napansin. I don't know.
Mm,
Pero she pretty much was like a footnote in history lang. Hindi talaga nabigyan
mm,
ng enough um, pansin, right?
oo.
Yeah, okay. So why is she's dubbed as the Visayan Joan of Arc? Because she
Mhm.
led, like Joan of Arc, she led a group of soldiers. But
Yes,
she's from Iloilo, so siya ay isang Ilongga.
Ilongga. So unang Ilongga natin siya. We have another Ilongga that we will be talking about
Later
later.
on, yeah.
So to give you a background, as you can read on the slide, Magban was a Filipino teacher and a military leader. She was born in Pototan in Iloilo. So Visayas region siya nanggaling. Nung nakapangasawa siya ng isang mayamang ah, pagmay-ari ng mga lands.
Mm-mm.
Pero ang nangyari is when the 1896 Philippine Revolution broke out against the Spaniards, she became one of the few women who joined the Panay-based Visayan arm of the Katipunan. And that's why she was dubbed as the Visayan Joan of Arc, because like what Cleo said earlier, she led a group of fighters. She led an army basically,
Hmm.
and of course their pinaka head was, of course, the very well known Andres Bonifacio.
Yeah. And then it's interesting to note kasi women don't really participate in war. Pero she
Oo.
really insisted to fight. So,
Mhm.
kaya you can continue in the next slide. Ano ba
Yes, there
nangyari?
you go.
Yeah.
Oo. So, despite the opposition from her husband, nag-push pa rin si Magbanwa to join the army, take up arms
Yeah.
against Spain. He joined her two brothers and,
Mhm.
led the troops to combat, and eventually they won several battles under the command of General Martin Delgado. And then Magbanwa is also
Okay,
credited as
parang
the only woman
nawala.
to. For some reason, I can't hear you. Hello? Okay, hold on.
She participated in three resistance movements. So she was active during the war with Spain. Tapos, no Philippine-American War, she was also active. And, syempre, nung World War II in Japan, with Japan, she was also active. So, nag-participate siya in those resistance movement. So, pag napansin mo parang, okay, babae ka. Usually, when you're a woman during those times, your participation in war is usually taga-alaga ka ng mga nasugatan or I think they are members. Some were members of the Philippine Red Cross during the Philippine American War, and then yung iba naman taga replenish ng supply. So hindi sila talaga in the face of battle. Hindi sila talaga part ng mga hindi sila yung nasa front lines. Although in the movie, I don't know how true it is, but maybe based on research, there are also women who were soldiers. Like in the movie General Luna, there were women fighters. So most likely during the time the Philippines was fighting the Americans, maybe yun na yung time na mas naging common na rin yung mga kababaihan na sumusugod na din sa war. Ayun. Okay, you're back.
Yes, I am back. So,
Pero bakit wala ka
medyo
pa ding audio?
may really.
Wala ka pa ding audio. Walay pa din.
Ah, that's weird.
Let's try it. Teka, why don't I try putting you off the screen and then letting you come back ulit, okay? Sige. Teka,
All
huwag kang
right.
alis. Okay, wait lang people. Yeah. Okay, how about now? Try it?
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Okay, can we...
Hello.
Okay, how about now?
Hello, hello.
Ayan, you can be heard na.
Pero may delay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. Sige, why don't you continue na?
Pero may delay.
May delay, no?
There.
Sige.
Pero may delay.
May delay, no? Sige.
What's happening?
Sige, Shops, you can go ahead and do it. Parang, yeah, may lag.
What's happening?
Oo nga eh. Sige, Shops, you can go ahead and do it. Parang may lag. Yeah, may lag. Teka, ako naman natitingin ng side ko.
All right, sure.
Parang may lag. Kaya ako naman nagtitingin yung side ko.
Alright, sure.
Parang may lag. Kaya ako naman nagtitingin yung side ko. Okay, let me see. Shops? Yan. How about now?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I'm here.
O, sige.
I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry naman, people. Again, live. O, sige. So, we're done with that. That's Teresa Magbanwa, the Visayan Joan of Arc. Now, why don't we go to the next one? Shops? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Sige. Sorry. I think we are good to go.
There, next
Yeah.
person.
Okay, see, that's Josefa Llanes Escoda. Some of us are familiar with her because she's in the 1,000 peso bill.
Mm,
O, diba? Okay, I didn't really know much about her other than yung kanyang smiling portrait sa 1,000 peso bill. Ito yung pera na
Oo.
gustong-gusto natin makuha pag Pasko kasi mas malaki yung value.
Oh, I
Yun.
think, andito siya.
Andyan siya?
Okay. So,
Ayun.
ayan. Yan.
Ayan,
Ayan
ayan
po
siya.
siya.
Hindi ka makita, baba. Ayan, ayan, yan.
Oh,
Oh, yan. Yan. Diba? That's how I
ayan.
picture her. Parang siya yung nakasmile. But who is Josefa?
Oo.
So, her nickname is Pepa. And she's the eldest of 7
Mm-mm.
children. And she was very active in the Christian service. So she's also an achiever in school, valedictorian siya in grade school and salutatorian in high school. And alam naman natin sa Pilipinas, kung naka-achieve ka ng ganyan, 'di ba? It's a big deal.
Yeah.
So for her college degree, Philippine Normal School na PNU na ngayon. And what is
Yes.
PNU known for? It's known for molding and producing the best teachers. Alright? So, dun siya gumraduate. And she graduated with honors in 1919. Wow. So, ito
So,
yung
she's
mga,
one bright girl.
she was very bright. Okay, so let's move to the next one. So, yun ang kanyang mga achievements. So, she was mostly a teacher. So, she got her certificate for teaching at UP in 1922. And she became a social worker for the Philippine chapter of the American Red Cross. So she was given a scholarship by the US where she earned a master's degree in sociology from Columbia University in 1925. So ang bongga ni ate. Nabigyan siya
Yeah.
ng scholarship and she had her master's degree in the US pa. And I think
Mm.
at that time is it the Commonwealth? It's already the
Yeah.
Commonwealth. So we
Yes.
we are part of I would say that's why some of our lolos and lolas kung napansin nyo ang gagaling nila mag-English because most of
Ah.
the teachers they had were Americans. So
Mm-mm.
talagang yun yung napansin ko sa lola ko my lola Pilar whenever she would talk to us ang galing mag-English talaga, right? So
Mm-mm.
she was one of those people who were very fortunate to be provided a very good education. And when she in the Philippines, she was a civic leader and the social worker. All right. So she's also a suffragette. Okay.
Mhm.
So di ba I think this was also the time all over the world where the suffragette movement um, was becoming pretty well known. Like the ladies in the UK, they wanted the women to have the vote. So ito na yung time na women are starting to um, to stand up and to let their
Mm-mm.
voices heard. And syempre, ang pinaka-known fact about Jose Falanes Escoda is she's the founder of the Girl Scouts in the Philippines. Girl Scouts of the Philippines.
Yep.
Nag-Girl Scout ka ba? Ako hindi ako nag-Girl Scout.
Oo naman, may picture ako na nakaganon ako.
Ay, hindi ako nag-Girl Scout.
I
Hindi.
think
Ikaw
nung
talaga?
from prep up until grade 2 ako, Girl Scout
Mm-mm.
ako. And parang bulk of my grade school life, Girl Scout ako. So I wore the green uniform
Tapos yung
and
may tama
I
raw na
went
ano.
oo, I went camping, pseudo camping.
Hmm.
Sa school rin lang naman
So, school
namin.
din lang naman yung camping, di ba? Wait, teka, by the way,
Oo.
let's say hi to Rhea. Rhea is watching. Hi, Rhea.
Hi, Rhea. Hello.
Yun.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah, and again, congrats with the new baby. Ano pa
Yep.
ba? Ayun, nalala ko nga may camping nga ang GSP. Pero usually the
Oo.
camping is sa amin din. Though I didn't become a Girl Scout. They also did it in the school grounds. Ewan ko kung
Oo.
bakit. Siguro dahil ayaw ng mga magulang natin na lumayo pa tayo ng Metro Manila.
Oh,
Kaya,
tsaka big deal na nun for a Girl Scout na makapag over makapag-camping kasi yun nga
camping.
overnight kasi usually
Overnight.
we're only in school for a good number of hours tapos
Mm-mm.
syempre exciting na sa amin yung yung magka-camping kami sa school din naman.
Oo, school din. Tsaka alam ko, di ba sa Girl Scouts, then that's where you were taught how to do the different kinds of knots.
Yeah,
Ganyan,
unfortunately
di
I do
ba?
not remember it.
Ayun, yun lang isa ko hindi nagawa nung elementary. I never joined the Girl Scouts. Kaya siguro hindi ko gusto masyado mag-camping kasi ayoko ng bugs, ayoko ng may mga yung mga kung anik-anik. Ayoko yung may mga
I tell
gumagapang-gapang.
you, in order for you to buy the stuff, the uniforms and the medals
Ah,
and all that, you need to go all the way to the United Nations because that's where the office
wow.
it is. So doon mo siya
Ah,
i-acquire. A good thing I'm from Manila.
mm.
So it's just an LRT ride or a jeepney ride away back then.
Talaga. Wow,
Mm-mm.
ha.
Mm-mm.
Nakakatuwa din, no?
Yes,
Anyway, ayun. So,
it was
pero si
fun.
si Peppa, meron din siya apart from being of the founder of the Girl Scouts of the Philippines, naging active din siya during the war with the Japanese when World War II broke out.
Mm-hmm.
I think she and her husband were freedom fighters and up to the point na they're helping out in terms of gathering resources for the guerrilla armies and her death is unknown, I think, right? Hindi talaga alam ko ano yung cause of death niya. But
Mm-hmm.
she and her husband were arrested by the Japanese when during the war. And she disappeared. Like, they didn't really know kung ano nangyari sa kanya. But most likely, she was tortured because one eyewitness said they saw her when the Japanese were taking her away and she was very weak. So most likely she was tortured. It was during the war. Maybe to name people, to give,
Oo.
diba? So most likely she was tortured and probably died na rin during capture. So, hindi natin alam. Kasi until now talaga even if during my research, I didn't really see any info about how she died, but
Yeah, me too.
most likely maybe it's torture. Okay, so ang
Mm-hmm.
sad, di ba? But then again, this woman is pretty brave, di ba? So, okay, so
Yeah.
she really deserves we really need to know more about her, not just the smiling lady who founded GSP and you can find in the
Mm-hmm.
1,000 peso bill. So she's more than that.
Right.
Okay,
Of
that's good.
course.
Yeah, let's go to the next
All
one.
right. Now, I will have to excuse myself for a good 1 minute play. I just
Mm-hmm.
need to grab something important. So I will move on to our next
Ah,
Power
sige.
Pinay. She's Magdalena Leones, and I will be back after a minute.
Okay, go ahead. Ayun. So I'll do this one. Okay, so Magdalena Leones, she's very recent. She passed away only in 2016. So she's a teacher. She's also a teacher. So most of them talaga na na fini-feature natin yun ay mga educators. So like we had Teresa Magbanwa who was a teacher. No, she was a wife of a wealthy landowner. But previously, Josefa Francisco was a teacher, and now Magdalena Leones is also a teacher. So she was very active during the war, specifically during World War II. So she was working as a teacher, and she wanted to be a nun. So when the Japanese invaded, so she's planning to live the religious life. When the church became the battalion headquarters, she became a nurse helping wounded guerrillas. So, di ba, was like what we mentioned before, usually ang mga babae, we are much more, we're not really expected to fight. But with Magdalena Leones, she participated not just as a nurse, but she did a lot of amazing stuff during her lifetime, during the time that she was helping out during the war. So when she was a nurse during the war, during the fall of Bataan, she refused to surrender to the Japanese regime. So she was captured. So si Leones, that's why if you look at her last name, Leones, she was also nicknamed the Lioness kasi she was very fierce. And during that time, she also studied Nihongo or the Japanese language, which really proved very beneficial to her. So she was captured 3 times, and most of the time, nakakatakas siya. Kasi she was known to be very sweet. So nangyari, nacha-charm niya yung mga Japanese soldiers. So they let her go. Kaya she really used that to her advantage. She also saved a couple of young Filipino guerrillas during the war. Ginawa niya was was able to convince she was able to convince the Japanese that they just came from a wedding. So marami talaga siyang ginawang paraan para to help her fellow Filipinos during the war. And she was also one of those Filipinas who became an who became a spy for for the Philippine and American Army during World War II. She also masterminded a certain bombing into Ligarao, if I'm not mistaken. And she was able to recruit some Filipino engineers to keep the communication lines open. That's why they were able to communicate with General Douglas MacArthur while he was still away and preparing to come back to the Philippines to help so that the war could end. So yale yun. So, ayun yung isa sa mga ginawa niya. So, I think she was pretty fearless nga as what we have said. And she was able to use I think she was very cunning. She was able to use that to save herself and to save several other Filipinos during World War II, which, as we know, was really one of the bloodiest um, events in world history. Okay, so teka lang. So when we just, I think di talaga nag-work ang gamit ko dito ngayon. Not really cooperating with me. But so far, while we're waiting for shops, if you have just joined us, we were talking about those Filipinos who made a mark in our country's history. So we had Teresa Magbanua earlier. So she was able to participate in 3 wars during her lifetime. So she was active during the Philippine-Spanish War. She was also there during the Philippine-American War, and she was also active during the Japanese invasion. But of course, she was pretty old by then. She helped in other ways, like supporting through uh, uh, replenishing of resources. And then we have Jose Fallanes Escoda, who was also very active during the Commonwealth era and then the Japanese invasion. So she was the founder of the Girl Scouts of the Philippines and was very instrumental during the war with Japan. And of course, we have Magdalena Leones, who was the lioness during the Japanese war. Okay, I wonder what happened to shops. Let me see if I could grab some of our materials here. Okay. Yeah. So if there are some um, characters or women in history that you feel that should be given more be sure to share it with us. You could write it down in the comment section, and then we'll see if we could feature them in the future. So kung sino ba ang feeling nyo ang pwede pa nating bigyang pugay, or who among the Filipinas that we know could benefit from a feature, kumbaga. Ayun. Teka lang ha, people. Okay. I couldn't really, because Shopee is manipulating. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let me see here how I could do this. No, it's not working. Okay. It's not working. Ayun. So let's just wait for Shopee. And yeah, thank you again for those who are watching. If you want to see more content, you could always check out our YouTube channel, and you could also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Ayun. Ano ba ang ano? Wait lang, ha? Wait. There you go. Yan. Wala si Shops. There. Ayun.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
I just kept babbling. Hindi ko na
sorry,
ma-move yung
sorry.
hindi ko na ma-move yung
Yeah.
presentation. But
So,
anyway, I'm done talking about Magdalena Leones. Up to the part where
so
she
she
became a
was
spy. You could add some more if you
ayun.
want.
So ayun. I had to deal with a Grab delivery driver who got confused with my PIN, and I got so frustrated. So ayun, I have to take a deep breath first.
Okay.
So there, Magdalena Leones is a known spy. And just imagine if you are the type of person who is into spy movies, James Bond films, or even Homeland, if you want to be a CIA agent, yun. So, Magdalena Leones was sort of, well, actually, she was actually that. And imagine
Mhm.
she was captured by the Japanese 3 times, and she was able to, you
Sweet
know,
talk her way.
um, yeah, sweet talk her way out. And she was really smart, and she was very sly, come to think of it. While I was reading her stories and I was creating this slide, I thought about Oedipus, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm-hmm.
who was a very sly man as well. He was able to confuse his enemies and make his, uh, what do you call this? Confuse his enemies as well. And similarly, this is what Leonis did. She's pivotal in MacArthur's landing
Mm-hmm. That's right.
in Palo Leyte. She really supplied a lot of information to the American troops, actually, overall
Mm-hmm.
to the Americans during the war against the Japanese. And she basically, it all started when she was 22 years old. So anyway, moving forward to how she lived as a spy. So in other words, she experienced being what you call this, captured during the first at 22, I think, because
Yeah.
uh she didn't um I think she was part of the ones who marched in Bataan.
Okay. So
She
she was in the
was
death march?
she did she was part of that, but she didn't uh you know uh align with the Japanese, kaya siya nakulong. So after
Mm-hmm.
when she was released, so she witnessed the execution of 20 plus young citizens. Kaya she started saving Filipino evacuees for execution.
Oh, okay.
Part of which is yun nga sinabi niya na galing lang sa kasal.
Oh, ayan, galing
So,
sa kasal.
iyan yung nakalagay. Isa yung mga excuses na ginawa niya. So, overall, after she met that colonel, the US colonel, naging spy na siya for the US against the Japanese. And since marunong din siyang mag-Nihongo, nagamit niya yun to her
Mm-mm.
advantage. And she was able to know very sensitive intel from the Japanese, and that's the
Yeah.
reason why uh, she was pivotal in the landing of General MacArthur in Palo
Mm-hmm.
Leyte. And of course, the defeat of the Japanese eventually. So
Yeah.
while she was captured 3 times by the Japanese government, she always managed to escape. And there was even one time, what Cleo mentioned, she sweet talked and bribed a Japanese guard
Mm.
para lang makalaya siya. So eventually, she joined the Philippine Army and she became a corporal and was a member of the Signal Corps until the war ended. So soon after, she migrated to the US,
Mm.
and because of her bravery and immense contributions to the US Army during her time, Magdalena Leones was the only Asian, or rather, is the only Asian woman to receive the Silver Star Medal. This is the third highest military decoration of valor awarded for gallantry in action against an enemy of the United States. So this citation was awarded in October 22, rather on October 22,
Mhm.
1945. So hindi
Wow.
na po bumalik dito si Binibining Leones. She actually passed away in the US na.
Yeah, yeah. And then she recently passed away ngayon. So parang, 'di ba, this woman has seen the
Oo.
horrors of war and survived, and she was given honor by Americans or the
Oo.
American Army. Yun. Okay.
So,
Oh, get it
gano'n siya
here.
kahusay.
Okay, then no.
And
Hindi na daw tapos
so,
no. Okay, sorry
so
naman.
far we have we have Magbanwa, we have Lianes Escoda, we have Leones, and now we go to our second Ilongga that I mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
Si, of course, Madam Miriam Defensor Santiago, or RMDS. So,
Yes.
June baby din pala to, Gemini pala to, pareho pareho namin ni
Pareho
Leon.
kayo nila yun. Why did we include Madam Miriam? Kasi I
Mm.
think she's really one of those women who was so feisty. She doesn't really fear anything, I think. Sabi nga niya, di ba, she eats death threats for breakfast. So she's, I don't know, like, okay, when we were thinking about who could be the other lady we could feature, and then sabi, gusto mo ba si Madam Miriam? And it's good that we both agree.
Oo, kasi naman very remarkable naman talaga yung contributions niya to the history of our country. And for one, she served in the UN. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't really known any Filipina who reached that level. This
Mm-hmm.
this woman is talagang brilliant. She's intelligent. Apart from her innate intelligence, she basically is very eloquent. She's a known debater while she
Mm-hmm.
was in UP studying law. Plus, ayun nga, to serve in the UN court, that is something. That's an
Mm-hmm.
achievement that
Yeah.
kumbaga it's rare to reach that heights. Kumbaga pangarap lang nun sa iba na,
That's true.
makapagtrabaho ka sa, let's say in a known, government office or a known private company. But this one is like United Nations, so
Yes.
super big time, 'di ba?
Big time talaga. And
So,
of course,
mm,
she was also an academe. So as I was telling
mm,
people earlier, we were featuring, we were talking about four women. We were featuring four women, and three of them were teachers. So she
mhm,
was also a teacher. She was a professor. So talagang, di ba, women in education can also do
yes.
badass things.
Mm.
Okay. All right. So let's continue. Yeah.
So, Defensor Santiago married, Benjamin Defensor. He's a local judge. Um, what do you call this? Oh, sorry, that's his father.
That's her
Well,
father.
oh, that was her father pala. Pero eventually she married. I forgot the name of his husband. Pero yun nga, eventually they had 2 children, and unfortunately one perished
Yeah.
due to suicide.
Mm.
And that was a huge blow to, of course, Madam Miriam. And I think she had bouts with depression as well because
Yeah.
of what happened to her son. But undeniably, she was able to recover after that. And again, she was yung ibang mga bashers niya sasabihin na baliw siya
Yeah.
kasi nga she's so intelligent, and sometimes she talks gibberish that not too many people understand what she's talking about. And
Mm.
of course her very her one of her well-known uh comebacks would be, "I lied," right? And then her with her funny laugh. You remember, "I lied." And then
I lied.
yung
Yeah, I
tawa niya na
remember
parang
that.
tawang baliw, alam mo yun?
That's why she also earned the nickname Brenda.
Yes, Brenda.
Yeah, for brain damage. But
Oo.
I don't know. Maybe because she was also feisty. That's why she had a lot of bashers and critics, especially in the Senate.
Oo. Again,
Yeah.
and again, she worked for the immigration, eh. And dun
Mm.
dun siya na dun siya unang nakakatanggap ng mga death threats. So hindi
Oo
na bago sa
naman.
kanya na
Yeah.
magkaroon siya ng mga bashers. Yung kung kumbaga bashers, that's like just dirt off of her
Fingernails.
feet. Oh, or from underneath her fingernails na dead ma sa kanya. Ano pa ba
Mm.
yung, I mean, she has gotten through hundreds of death threats perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, kumbaga, dead man na sa kanya tawagin niyo kung baliw or Brenda, akong
Yeah.
pakialam.
That's
So,
true. And I think
right.
she was very popular with the young people when she ran for
Hmm.
president during, I really forgot what year that was, but
I was in
that was the, I think,
um
high school or college? High school.
92.
92. So high school.
Oo.
So she
High school
was,
tayo.
oh God, halata ang edad natin. 1992 high school na tayo.
Kundi ano, ay hindi, sabihin na natin na between May yun, ano pa lang tayo, ano na,
High
graduate
school.
na,
High
high
school.
school, graduating pa lang tayo ng grade school nun.
Oo,
Kasi
graduating. Oo, yan.
12 years old is grade 6 eh, 'di
Oo,
ba?
tama.
So,
Uy,
since 1980
lumulus.
ako,
Lumulusot.
1980 ako nun, alam ko it's either grade 6 ako
Grade
niyan or
6.
first year nung tumakbo siya, oo, nung
Okay.
tumakbo siya
Okay.
ng ano, for as a presidential ball kasi nung time na yun, ano, katalamakan ng brownouts yan eh.
Yeah,
Tsaka
oo.
kasagsagan ng Marimar yan.
Oh,
So,
Marimar. I think I was in,
oo.
ay, hindi, high school na ako niya kasi I'm older than you ng 1 year eh.
Oh,
First
one
year ako
year.
niyan, oh. Yan, di ba umamin na talaga. Huwag natin ininay. Edad yan, kung edad yan, edad
So,
yan.
yan.
Ayun. So, di
Oo,
ba, I
that's
think
what happened.
she was very popular talaga with the younger voters at that
Mm-mm.
time. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
she was running against Fidel Ramos.
Fidel Ramos, oo.
Right.
Fidel Ramos. That
Ayan.
time. And, yun nga, um, kaya siya naging sikat kasi she really filed a complaint against the results of that
The
election.
Comelec. Yeah,
She was
the Comelec,
claiming,
no?
yeah, she was claiming na it's because of the brownouts. Kaya nagkaroon na siguro ng pandaraya because of the frequent brownouts that were happening in the metro during that time. So she really pushed that, kaso parang na-dismiss yata yun.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
eventually, I think we were in college when she attempted to run again for the
Yeah.
presidential seat, if I'm
Pero
not
I think hindi
mistaken.
siya
So,
tumuloy eh, 'di ba? Parang she
oh,
just eyed the
oo.
Senate na lang nun eh, when
Mm,
we were in college. But she was, maybe because din kaya rin parang sinasabing nadaya siya since kasagsagan ng brownout during that time. And hindi
mm,
pa automated
mm.
ang elections noon. So
Oo.
talagang it's really
Ah,
possible. I'm not saying na may cheating na nangyari kasi it wasn't really proven or whatever. I don't know.
mm,
Baka, 'di ba? But it's really sad that sabi nga eh, 'di ba? She was the president that we never had.
Totoo yan.
I really wondered if she really became president, what would have happened. 'Di ba? But because
Ay,
she has political will. I don't Some people may agree
just,
with me, some people may not.
oo, oo. Well, you know my say
Mm.
regarding her. I mean, since I looked up to her, I liked her, although sometimes I found her odd and weird. Still,
Yeah.
you're looking at the screen right now with just a number of laws that she authored. This is not every single law that she authored, ha. But, distinction, I want to highlight the Reproductive Health Act of 2012, the Sin Tax Law, the Renewable Energy Act of 2008, and of course the Magna Carta of Women.
Mhm.
So if you don't call that an achievement, I don't know what else, because
Yeah.
look at the laws that she authored.
That's
Lahat,
just
kumbaga,
that's just a parang bits lang yan.
Oo, oo. And up until now, kumbaga, we're experiencing these laws that she authored, particularly itong Magna Carta for Women,
Yeah,
okay?
that's right.
Continuously protecting the rights of women in the country. And, we have Senator Risa Hontiveros,
Mm.
who is continuously doing,
Oh, I like her.
what do you call this? Yeah, me too. I like her. And
Mm.
I believe that Senator Ontiveros is continuously hinihimay-himay niya itong Magna Carta for Women, if I'm not mistaken. Meron na rin siyang mga in-author na laws under this,
Mm.
kumbaga, blanketed
Yeah.
with the Magna Carta of Women. Kaya, oo, all praises kami kay Madam Miriam. The only downside to her, in my opinion, is when she sided with, of course,
Oh, yeah.
um,
Yeah, him.
Marcos during the
Him.
last, yeah. I
Him.
don't want to mention his name, but you know whom she sided with before she said goodbye to the planet.
Oh, yeah,
So
he who must not be
unfortunately,
named.
that was the only thing that I didn't really
Mm.
like. But then again, I'm just attributing that to probably her cancer. That's the
Why,
reason.
why was she a big, I'm not really sure if if she, well, if she supported that family. I'm not really
It's
entirely
quite
sure.
ironic because she was hired as a lawyer against them, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Doon sa
Okay.
pagbabasa ko, sa pagre-research natin, na parang nahaginan ko yung part na yon na bata pa siyang
Ah.
abogada noon. She was hired kasi nga human rights violations and
Mm.
all that. Isa siya sa mga abogado noon nung time na yon.
Okay.
So,
Against
of
that
course,
family.
oo, against that family until of course seasons change, I guess.
Yeah.
Siguro I don't know kung
Maybe.
ano man yung nakita niya dun sa He Who Shall Not Be Named na yon na
Oo.
sinuportahan niya. Kaya ako talagang sobrang nagulat ako noon
Yeah, me
nung
too.
nung nangyari yon. I'm like, what happened?
What?
Did the world just turn upside down? What happened? Why is
I
Madam Miriam supporting him?
I hope it's not because she was sick, but kasi at that time she recovered from cancer, so we were all thinking she might
Oh,
really, live longer.
oo.
But I think she passed.
Lung cancer.
She passed after what? A few years after, like 2 years, a
Oo.
year. What?
Oo.
Hindi ko makaalala.
Hindi kasi 'di ba she should have run itong against our current president
Mm. Yeah,
and
but
partner nga niya 'yon, 'di ba?
I remember during the presidential debates, I was really looking forward to it. So, pinanood ko talaga siya. Napansin ko that our current president, he didn't even, I don't know if he's scared of her, but I think he admires her. I know that the president really was very vocal about his admiration for Madam Miriam. He was bashing the other candidates, but with Madam Miriam, he just asked her, "How are you?" Yun ang tinanong niya kay Madam. Because I really think, honestly, I really think that he respected her so much. Kasi sinabi niya, I don't have anything to ask or to throw at her, but Madam, how are you? That's what he asked. And he was very gentlemanly with her, in naalalayan niya. So,
Mm.
it was really sad when she passed. I was really sad. And let's not
Yeah.
forget, siya ang Cupid between Heart Evangelista and
Oo.
Senator Cheese.
Yeah, because of her close ties with Heart. Ay, sorry, with close ties with Heart Evangelista. Ayun, nakakita ng ng
Forever.
forever si Heart dahil kay Senator Miriam. So, ayun. So, nagka-happily ever after si Heart Evangelista.
And when you hear Heart talk about her, parang matatouch ka na ganun pala sila ka-close that they would have sleepovers. O,
Travel.
di ba?
They travel together.
Yeah, di ba? Parang gusto ko rin ng ganun na maganda kong
Oo.
tita. Di ba?
Sort of, yeah, she considers MDS as one of her mentors.
Yeah. So and she was also an author. Since she has a very fun sense of humor,
She
she
authored
authored
Stupid
she
is
authored
Forever.
some joke books, 'di ba? Sa pa naman nakakita ng isang senadora na gano'n.
She Yeah, she authored a lot of books, particularly yung Stupid is Forever, tapos nagka-sequel pa nun. Stupid is Forevermore yata.
Yeah, I think so, yeah, 'di ba? So 'di ba ang galing-galing niya. And every time and I really like how she would clash with Senator Juan Ponce Enrile na gino-joke niya palagi na ang tagal na raw ng buhay ni Senator Enrile kasi ang tagal na rin naman kasi ni Senator Enrile, 'di ba? Yeah, so she's
You know it, parang magtataka ka, bakit buhay pa to? I mean, namatay na si Dolphy. Na feeling ko noon hindi mamamatay pero namatay. Pero si Enrile buhay pa, parang hindi mo malaman saan ba 'to nagpapa-stem cell, 'di ba?
baka nagpapa-stem cell nga si Senator, o 'di ba? So it was
Oo, kasi anong petsa pa siya pinanganak? He's close to 100.
oh nga, no? But I think he's still pretty sharp, no?
He is, he
He's still
is.
pretty sharp. I mean, 'di ba? In fairness naman kay Sir, he's really very sharp, 'di ba? But
Correct.
it was when I saw yung mga ibang senator ngayon sa atin, I was thinking, ano kaya ang sasabihin ni Madam Miriam if she has to work with these people? Alam mo yun, parang ano kaya? Meron pa siya diyang gagawin niyang parang prodigy niya or something? Meron ba siya diyang ibabash? Alam mo yun yung mga tumatakbo sa utak ko when I see kung sino yung lineup ng senators ngayon. Kaya parang sabi ko, diba? Kung if she only lived a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically it. So, with that being said, those are our top 4 Power Pinays. We will now move on to our honorable mentions.
Mentions. Ayan.
Okay, ilan lang sila. So, ito yung common na sa ating mga contemporaries natin. And I think sa mga kabataan din naman, kilala din nila tong dalawang to. Si Gabriela Silang, na asawa ni Diego Silang, tapos si Melchora Aquino.
Yes. So, I couldn't really find a photo talaga ni Gabriela Silang. Most of them are statues or paintings, but I want to look for something na may likeness talaga niya. So, I think this was pretty close to it. I'm not sure. But she was also a warrior. She was a warrior during the fight with the Spanish. And same thing but of course with Tandang Sora or Melchora Aquino. She wasn't a fighter, but she helped in some other ways. She
Mm-mm.
took care of the wounded, and she was also in charge of supplies, I guess.
And yun nga, she's dubbed as the Florence Nightingale nung panahon pa ng Katipunan.
Yeah. Okay. So, yun. So,
Yan.
So, sino pa yung iba nating honorable mention? Sabi ko kay Shoms, bakit ang dami? Akala ko
Ayan.
3 lang. Kasi yung, siguro, ba't ang dami? Bakit 5 yan? Sabi niya, hindi, di ba? Kasi yung isa, grupo. Okay. So, who are they? They are Marcela Agoncillo, Delfina Herbosa de Natividad, and si Lorenza Agoncillo.
Lorenza. Oo.
Ayan.
So, pakita lang natin yung Agoncillo family. So, si Lorenza is at the front row.
Oo, siya yung nakaupo na nasa left. Tama?
Ayan.
Nasa left.
Yeah,
siya. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, si Lorenza. I think she's sister-in-law to Marcela.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So sila sino ba tong tatlo? Sino ba sila?
Yeah. So these are the women who sewed our national flag. So sila yung typically kasi kumbaga grupo sila na makikita natin, 'di ba, hawak nila yung watawat ng Pilipinas. Tinahi nila ito. So yung tinahi nila, yun yung winagayway ni Emilio Aguinaldo sa Kawit, Cavite nung dineclare yung independence natin.
Yeah. Okay, so kaya sabi ko, ba't 5? Yung pala kasi, yung huli, grupo sila. Okay, so again, we wanted to show actual photos of them. Hindi, kasi madalas makikita mo, it's a painting, it's a statue. So you want to see their likeness. So si Marcela Agoncillo, ito yung kanyang photo in her old age na. Yan. Tapos yung nakatabi niya, si Delfina, it's a younger version of herself. But in the next page, nandun yung younger version ni Marcela and ni Lorenza. So, ayan. So, I think this was taken in Hong Kong. And if you notice, 1912. Nakita niyo naman ang kanilang mga attire, di ba? Very Victorian.
And you know for a fact na they come from a richer
Rich family,
Filipino
yeah.
clan.
Mm-hmm.
Oo. And not too many Filipinos can basically travel to Hong Kong in the 1900s.
Mm,
Of course, kasi kumbaga we were still at war
yeah.
back then, pero sila they manage. So there you go. Those are our honorable mentions: Gabriela Silang, Melchora Aquino, and of course the three women who sewed our national flag.
Yes. Okay. So let's now go to that. As always, lagi naming sinasabi
Oh,
ito sa
ayan.
ending.
Siyempre, ayun, sa hinaba-haba man ng inano ng broadcast natin ngayon, naitawid pa rin naman
Naitawid
natin.
natin. Kahit may mga tech
Oo.
difficulties tayo, naitawid
Oo.
natin.
Thank
Right.
thank you sa mga nanood at sa mga manunood. So again, guys, remember history is not boring. It's part of every fiber of our being. And remember, wala tayong saysay kung walang kasaysayan.
Yes. And next episode pala
And of
natin,
course, yan.
yeah, yeah. So sa next episode namin pala, we'll still continue talking about women. But this time, medyo i-widen natin yung ating search. So hindi na, lalabas na tayo ulit ng Pilipinas. Ayun. So ayan. So I hope that you can also give your suggestions. If you don't agree with our list of Power
Oh,
Pinays, then you can also,
go ahead and
comment,
add yours.
add yours. So you could put it in the comment section. So you could also check us out. Uh, and you could always check us, our YouTube channel, and of course, follow us in our social media accounts. Meron pala kaming pasabog sa April. Nasabihin lang namin sa
Yan.
April. May pasabog kami
Sa April na.
sa
Wala,
April
hindi
na.
mo
O
tayo
gusto mo ba
magbigay ng
sabihin na?
clue. Hint lang,
O
ikaw na
sige.
yung, ano, I'll let you do the honor.
Okay. Sa April kasi, meron kaming plano ni Shops, and we hope that we would be able to get some support out of it. We want, gusto namin, since that's why we're doing live broadcasts, is because we want to involve people in our discussion and to encourage people to have an interest in history. So, yung next naming gagawin ni Shop sa April is parang to encourage participation. So hopefully we will get some supporters. So para naman medyo lumaki-laki naman ng family ng gamit natin, hindi lang kami dalawa ni Shops at ang aming mga suki. Gusto namin na again, we want encourage people to like, not to really to have an interest in history, because again, kung ano yung nangyari sa nakaraan, it's something we can learn from and we can apply today. Diba? So, ayun. So, malalaman nyo lang yan, yung pasabog na yan, sa April. And what else? Any other message that you want to impart?
No, that's basically it, guys. So we're looking forward to the next episode this March, and of course, more surprises this coming April. Again, guys, thank you so much for your support. And again, maraming and just enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Maraming salamat.
Thank you. Goodbye and stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.